to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I'm your host, Mahad, and we're here to review the Baku GP in Azerbaijan. I am joined by Chris. How are we doing, Chris?
I'm good. It's nice to be here in the studio. So let's talk about that boring race.
Listen, I nearly fell asleep, man. But yeah, we're going to be in the studio more often. We spoke about this last year when we recorded in the studio last year. So we're going to keep providing the best audio quality we can. I'm also joined by Martz.
Yeah, what he's saying, just fighting this chair, bro. I don't even know how to work it.
I get yourself comfy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot.
Hand on the right.
It was
I don't stop the back from going back.
Oh,
you're leaning and that.
Yeah,
You
man.
good?
Bro, I'm like a drunkard.
Hey, pod like a drunkard, man. You know the vibes. We'll go
But I've done that twice, and yeah.
I know you've podded drunk before. Whoever's listener, old school listener, they remember this guy's podded with a whole bottle of wine. You get me? But before we get started, follow us on Pitstop Fracas on Twitter, follow us on Pitstop Fracas on Instagram, follow us on Pitstop Fracas on TikTok. And if you're watching this on YouTube, sorry we haven't got the visuals today. We've had a technical difficulty, but please put a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a comment. We love to hear everything that you guys have to say. And please subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please give us a 5-star review. Give us a nice comments. You know, it all helps us out. But we'll get started. Firstly, Baku was the first time we've had the new sprint format. So the new format is quali on a Friday, obviously, like the old sprint format, and then you have quali. You only have one practice session on the Friday morning, and then on Saturday morning you have a sprint quali session, and then you have the sprint race, and then you have the race on the Sunday. So there's only one practice session. So that's the new change. So it became quite difficult for a lot of teams. Firstly, I'm going to come to you, Chris. What did you think about the new format? Do you think it worked? Is it better than the old format, or should it just get rid of sprint races altogether?
I like the new format. It's more of a thing of if the race is good, it will look a lot better. I like the fact there's a lack of practice. It's like in F2. It's about these drivers showing that they're the guy and not just any old rubbish guy. That you have to nail it from the very beginning, make the most of what you've been given, and, you know, fly. So, and if you have a stinker, you can just reset the entire car like Hulkenberg and Ocon did. So, like, make it work. It's either you go there and show you're him, or change the whole thing and do drives from the back. It provides more entertainment, so I'm with it.
I did actually comment about this. I said that one practice session, that's gonna really like sort the men from the boys, because there's a lot of drivers out there that are very dependent on having a perfect setup. So just going into a car that's not really perfect for the conditions, and you haven't really mastered it over 3 hours of practice sessions, will be difficult for some. And then that practice session got cut short because of Gasly's engine blowing up and causing a red flag as well. So it's even less time for everybody else to get ready for the weekend. And in this track like Baku, you need to get some rhythm, and it's not really like every other track. So I think this is a marker. Whoever had a stinker this weekend, you know who they are. You watched it. Just understand why they had a stinker, right? Martz, what do you think of this new layout, this new sprint format? Is it better than the last one, or should it just get rid of sprint races? I never really asked you your opinion about sprint races.
Sprint. I think we were on a pod like a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about what can we do to improve sprint races, and I think sprint races, decent idea. It's an extra race. I do like that. I like the concept of it, but I don't like the execution. Like that. Sorry, the idea is a good idea to have sprint races. I think, yeah, but the actual execution, the concept that they come up with, not the greatest. I feel like I said. I think last time I said. I think it should be more team-based rather than driver-based. Drivers shouldn't really get points for it. I think it should be used more as a development tool as well. I mean, they've got an F1 Academy or whatever. Use it to bring new drivers through, like, race for teams. So, like, even if you want to say, like, we're going to have you do the sprint race on this weekend, it might not bring them out audience in, but it does help highlight younger drivers that are coming through as well. and it just gives them an opportunity to be in an F1 car and actually really show what they can do instead of just one race at Monza and everyone thinking it's a good race when it's a really easy track at Monza, and then you come out and you stink up the joint. But if you had the opportunity to have a sprint race, then multiple sprint races, you'll be able to see and identify who's actually a real racer and ready for F1.
We'll leave to your guys' imagination who he's talking about regarding Monza. So you're saying it should be used as a platform for teams to kind of like showcase their academy and their young talent. And,
exactly, yeah.
Give them the opportunity to be part of a race weekend that's not actually F2 or F3, but actually
exactly
an F1 car and going around the circuit.
Exactly, and I think just one car per team, and you'll be able to get constructors points based on that.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to see Petro Fittipaldi drive a Haas at all. That guy's not
10-man
good.
race. He could do something in a 10-man race.
He won't. He's not good. He got a super license by accident.
I'll be real with that. You know what? Yeah, as I said, but it separates.
Yeah,
it separates the talent from the actual thing.
If there's points on the line, the constructors a team will be like, I want the best driver possible.
Exactly.
That race. So I'm not going to put Fittipaldi in there.
That's their only young driver.
They will hire another young driver for that purpose.
I don't trust Gunter's management or knowledge of drivers to get that done. Like experienced guys, he's good. Young guys, he ain't it.
Another cast member actually said that we should each team should just have basically F1 should just provide like
a spec car,
and everybody just goes around it now, so you can kind of figure out what's going on, who's the best in equal machinery. Like, answer the question that people want to answer. What do you think about that?
I think spec cars is good, but then it's basically F2, isn't it? It's not
F2's F2 spec.
It's not. It's
not at the same time.
Yeah.
Teams are better than others.
Yeah, because obviously, but it's about the engineering, isn't it? And I think that's what F1 is, the pinnacle of engineering, and you want to be able to get the pinnacle for a sprint race rather than a setup for a race day, and then you still have to use that same setup for your sprint race. It's not going to be as good. So I think, for a sprint race, if you're focusing that, this car is going to be on a sprint. This is the driver that's going to do it. You know how you can set it up, blah, blah, blah. I think that works. But I think spec car, in a way, can work as well. It's not a terrible idea. It's not quite what F1 is, basically.
Put all them in go-karts, man. Put them on a track to see what I got. Then I can answer the real questions that you ain't got all that fancy tech of yours, have you? But it's been a bit of a hit and miss. For me personally, get rid of sprint races. I'm tired, man. How many races have we done now? Stinks.
We've only had one.
No.
Stinks.
Or two.
Brazil last year was good.
We've only had two.
Austria last year was good.
I don't think Brazil was good. You're saying Brazil was good.
Brazil 2021 was good.
You know why I said the Brazil sprint race is good. You won it.
I didn't watch it. It wasn't even
Russell won it. That's
no. It wasn't even that. I was thinking about Mick going from last to like P12. I saw overtakes. I was like, this is what I want to see.
That's just Interlagos though.
Yeah, no. But it's like,
if
it might be a track
sprint race. It should just be at Interlagos.
Yeah,
and Austria, and that's it. Like, you can't do it on a track like Baku where you can't really overtake. These guys were breathing heavy to overtake today.
Yeah.
And to do that in a sprint race without like the only overtakes was happening when you've got a major differential in types of.
All right, I'll be real. Toto messed up the sprint race with his silly idea of raising the floor level. So that's where it goes.
It wasn't just him, it was also Pirelli. Those tyres were not good because the softs and the mediums weren't usable, and the hards lasted the entire race. A little bit of time management, and then they lasted like 40 laps.
You know what? I watched the F2 race this morning, and then I thought, Pirelli stink. Because what have they done with these tyres? Like, why are they either falling off after 2 laps, and then the compound after that it'll last the whole race? I saw Iwasa and Hadja basically do a whole race on the same tyre. I was like, and that's what Ocon did and Hulkenberg. They basically did a whole race on the same tyres. Why are these tyres not?
And they were keeping up pace for 47 laps.
You had all them men that were behind Hulkenberg and Ocon change onto those tyres. So they had fresher hards.
Yeah.
And they couldn't overtake because those hards were still fresh.
Yeah. It's
they
crazy.
Didn't have grain in. They were cool. They were fine. You know what I mean? So Pirelli. So I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Obviously, they're blaming
the
FOM, because obviously they made the reg. They blamed Dominicali, but I'm like, yo, Pirelli, these tires are they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
But is that
They
just
need to
track?
deg more.
Is that going to just be track specific at Baku, or is that going to be like a running full? Because I mean, Saudi had high temperatures, but Saudi the tire degradation was quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
But maybe because it's a newer track.
I think because Baku as well.
Street.
You know, we usually do Baku in June.
Yeah,
It's way hotter.
yeah.
Why did they do it in April? The temperature was way lower.
Also, and
they
they
couldn't get temperature into the tires.
Yeah.
Usually in Baku, them man's tires are on fire.
Wait, Baku's normally in June.
Yeah,
A bit later.
it's usually put before Canada,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and then they brought it forward.
And
So
they've
why did
resurfaced the road as well.
So what? I don't get why did they not bring Miami forward then Canada?
No, I didn't.
No, it's too cold in Canada. The dish
Yeah, no,
wouldn't
it's too
work.
cold.
It's 25 degrees in Canada right now, brother.
Yeah, I know it's too much of a risk. It's too much of a risk weather-wise.
Yeah, because
you don't know when
it
it's
could
gonna
snow as well.
That's like saying Silverstone's a risk, man. Come on.
No, Silverstone's always a risk. You know what I mean?
That's why they have it in July. It's the 1 month where we can do it safely.
Crazy. Okay, we'll move on to quali. Quali in the UK was at 2 p.m. on a Friday. I did not watch this live. I was in meetings.
When we arguing in the group chat about what's at the sprint race.
This is a joke. It's a joke. Obviously, I know Baku's 4 hours ahead of the UK, and I think that's like 6 p.m. their time. So
Yeah.
if they do it any later, then it's going to be dark. But just please do it in the morning at least, like, because people have lives. People are out here. You know what I mean?
To be fair, on a Friday afternoon, most people are not really working. You're in the office or you're in your house logged in, but you're not working.
Your employers are listening to you.
No, I was working. My colleague
was
working. They saw me. I was working.
I was working.
Working.
I don't know what this guy's talking
I
about.
don't
I was
know
working.
about you, man.
Hey, check the emails, innit?
This guy scheduled emails between 2 and 3. Automatic sent out.
Quality lost
You know-
about 2 hours, bruv.
Set up the meeting with yourself.
No.
Say,
Do you know
box
what's
it
so
out
funny?
on Teams.
Do you know what's so funny? I literally I watched quali after, and then I was like, why is the quali on the Sky? You know, why is it such a long time? I don't understand. Why is Q1 so long? Because of the mayhem that we call Q1. Why just what's going on? Is this what happens when nobody has practice?
Is what happens when guys who are not him don't have practice because they just stink out.
And who are you referring to?
De Vries, Sainz. Did Gasly also bin it in quali?
He's cast it on
Gasly
fire.
did it in quali. No. Gasly's car was on fire
in practice.
Oh, practice.
And then
He binned it.
They were working on it over lunch break, sweating, you know what I mean? Just doing a madness Alpine to get his car ready. They had both sides of the garage to get it ready. Ocon side of the garage to get his car ready. Man binned it in Q1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I went straight in the track and said he needs to be moved up.
So, firstly, okay, do you know what? Yeah, we're going to bring this forward. Let's talk about the Vries. Because a certain man on the cast was saying, first Dutch world champion. Certain man saying, yeah, he deserves a seat. A lot of people were saying he deserved a seat. And if you looked at it on paper, yeah, he's got the accolades. He's a grown man. He's got a lot of racing experience. He shouldn't really be struggling this much, yeah? I'm going to ask you, Chris, first, yeah? Is this just people... Is just him generally stinking it out and not looking like he's on the level? Or is just Yuki Tsunoda just levels above this guy?
Both.
It's both.
So he's not levels, and when you hear him speak, you can tell he's not levels. The way he's speaking is not a man who's confident or a man who's like... It's always an excuse, and it's always like own it, bruv. You've not been good. Tsunoda's smoking you, but you're not like a kid where it's like you have to do a lot of adapting. You've been in F1 cars, you've done testing, you've done all those practice sessions last year, you've been in a race, like you've won in Formula E, you've won F2 how many million years ago, so like own it. Although his F2 season was one of the worst ones.
No, let's not talk about the F2 season. Let's talk about that. Why is Stoffel not in his seat? Why did Stoffel not get another chance? Because I feel like Stoffel's better than him. Stoffel did not look this bad. I'm sorry.
No. That is 100% McLaren's fault. They tanked his stock and didn't admit that they treated him badly until
last year,
after
who was the
it went.
Formula E champion? Stoffel, who put Nick in the dirt in the same team.
It's because Nick got all the chances because he's never been in F1. So it's like the shiny new toy.
It's not looking good for Formula E. First of all, because that was your champ.
The funny thing about that is
this your king?
Is this your king? Microwave engines. Is this your king?
He they called him the fan boost champion because that was what was giving him all the advantage. So like,
allow it, man.
it's
Any
crazy.
racing series that got fan boost to make your car go faster, allow it, man. I ain't trying to hear that. What is this? Bloody
Super Mario Kart.
that is insane
Bruv,
stuff.
man got the bullet bill every race, bruv.
No way. But honestly, like, he's just not looking there. And obviously, I feel like some people may say we're being harsh because it's only been 4 races now.
I'm sorry, but we've got the only race that he was decent at this year was Bahrain.
Was he decent in
I think he
Bahrain?
was decent in Bahrain.
We saw him in person. I saw him get dunked on by Yuki. And,
Yeah, he was way behind.
like-
Like Logan was decent in Bahrain.
Logan looked impressive.
Maybe I'm getting them confused. But I think
I saw Yuki overtake 2 men on one corner.
I don't think he was the performance De Vries put in considering how bad the AlphaTauri is as well. I don't think the performance he put in at Bahrain was that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Is
But-
the AlphaTauri that bad? Because
It is.
that's
It is
2
terrible.
P11s for Yuki and
Three,
and 2
isn't it?
P10s.
Oh, 2, yeah.
2 P10s and 2 P11s.
But Yuki's cooking.
Yeah, but then I'm also going to say De Vries is whack. De Vries is not good.
So if De Vries was about that life, you'd be like P12.
Because what my thing is,
he'd be next to it.
at Bahrain, he didn't struggle that much. But every other race where the track's more difficult, he struggled. But Baku, not exactly the easiest track to get around. I'm surprised he didn't bin it in the castle. I'm literally surprised he didn't bin
No,
it in the castle.
he couldn't reverse today.
No,
In
he
the
broke
race.
the suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a bozo. He hit. How many times did he stop a session this weekend? So he stopped the quali session.
Yeah. I think he stopped.
He stopped the quali session on Friday.
He stopped practicing as well, innit?
Did he stop practice? No, he stopped practice.
I thought it was Yuki that stopped practice.
No, Yuki stopped practice. You're right. Yeah, because Yuki didn't have no practice and then he cooked.
Yeah.
So
Yuki didn't have DRS in one of those sessions.
No. Yuki, he the first person to dust
Yeah.
his car in practice. So then he had no practice whatsoever. Everybody else had practice. He didn't even have any laps basically. And then
Actually, wait. Do you know what he did?
he locked
Was
up.
it he crashed Yuki in the sprint race?
Yeah, he crashed Yuki in the sprint race. Yeah, and then certain people like Anik and so on in the group chat was trying to run agenda.
And Nam, we're gonna name
And
them
Nam,
because
'cause-
they're ruining my Yuki hate thing. Because it's like I was doing it and it
How
was
do you run an
calm.
agenda if another driver put you in the wall? I don't understand what's going on here. It's insane stuff. Like it doesn't even make sense.
There's no tact in the hating. Like it's like
Listen, man, Martz, you're a professional hater. You have to have some class.
Yeah,
you got
some
to have
decorum.
some like logic to your
Exactly.
agendas.
If you can't come up with something, even if it's non-factual, you got to at least make it sound factual. These might just say, "Oh, Yuki again," and it's like, well, you haven't got the full story. All we've seen is okay, Yuki's out the race. Was out of quali? Oh no, sorry, the sprint race. And then you're saying Yuki again. I ignore it. As soon as I see Anik's name pop up, I ignore it. That's it.
The game of hating is gone. The art of the game. You know how they talk about the art of football is gone. Like they lost the people are not doing step overs no more. It's all robotic. The art of hating is gone.
It is. Man.
These
but
men
the
are not even
KDB's
hating
hating.
properly. Hey, look, I've got the 2 haters here. Top 3 2 haters. You know what I mean? Are we demoting Nam from the top 3? Because he's not doing it with any skill right now. You know,
I think Nam's
he's doing kick and run.
a
He's
lot
doing
of
Milan Baros.
Nam's hating was based on Max Verstappen being an illegitimate champion. So now that's kind of
That was a legitimate champion.
that is a legitimate champion. It's kind of not really like hitting the same anymore because you can't go after Max constantly. Like before, it was like, yeah, all right, I could dig this, but now it's just a bit.
All right, brother. Nam.
But then Nam also has like some good points as well. Like he will hate when he needs to hate. Like he was hating on about the time when it was a sprint race, and he probably was right as well. Sprint race on a Friday, maybe not, maybe.
nah.
Nah, you might need to go back.
I
and
enjoy
we
my
don't know.
Friday nights. Even if I'm in my house, I just don't want to watch Formula 1 on a Friday night.
It makes me sick. It makes me sick. I was like, what? Why am I came home and I had to watch Formula 1 before I went to sleep. I fell asleep anyway. I fell asleep before Q3 anyway. I was like, I had to watch that in the morning. I was like, this is a joke, man. Talking about Q3 though. Charles Percival Leclerc. 3 poles in a row in Baku. No. What did you think of his performance? Qualifying on Friday. What did you think of his performance? Because he showed them
it was good.
levels.
It was good.
It was good. I know you're not too much of a big fan of Leclerc, but if he's taking out somebody that you don't like, aka Max Verstappen.
I have no beef with Leclerc. I think it was a good session, good first session for him. But we all knew what was going to happen. It's like a pointless poll.
This is my whole storyline. Does quality matter? You know what I mean? I think it shows something, right? Over one lap, I think he's definitely better than Max Verstappen over one lap. And if they were in equal cars, the quality record would look crazy.
Yeah.
Even though Max may win in the races, the quality record will look crazy between them. You know what I mean? So,
do you know what it is? For me, that pole position is showing that one, Leclerc's a part of the elite six drivers on the grid, and two, that when Ferrari are not doing Ferrari things, the car is the second best car, and it's not that bad. And maybe we were being a bit dramatic.
Is it the second best car?
AM didn't have DRS the whole of quality.
Alonso's not catching them man there.
No, Alonso's not better than Leclerc qualifying. Leclerc is top 2 qualifying.
Yeah, no, but it's more the thing of...
I'm talking about, is the Ferrari a better car than Aston Martin?
I don't think it is.
We don't know yet.
I think...
Didn't Alonso finish the race like right behind Leclerc? Literally right behind. He left Sainz for dust.
Yeah, because Sainz is terrible. Sainz is bottom 3 drivers of the season. He stinks.
Isn't he like a significant amount of points ahead?
Listen, I want to get on to Lewis for not passing him, bruv. I'll be real with you.
Huh?
I'm disappointed in Lewis not passing him.
That's because the Merc car stinks.
Yeah, no. That should have happened.
No, I don't care how bad that concern. I don't care how bad that Merc is. Lewis should have passed him. I'm sorry.
Alonso passed him.
That's because
but not to say like Hamilton didn't cook. Obviously, we'll speak about that in the race. Hamilton did cook, but I'm saying Sainz was not performing, man. Sainz was moving like how he moved in Singapore last year when Norris was catching him. And I'm like, how are you letting a McLaren catch you for a podium? Are you scared? You're scaring me right now. You're in a Ferrari, bro. Sometimes it's just not there, especially on street tracks. It's just not there for him.
Yeah, he's again, the whole Ferrari team have Bozo moments and just weekends where they're a bit rubbish, and he just had a weekend where he's rubbish. But even this season, it's been multiple weekends of being rubbish. The only race where he showed good race pace was Australia, and then he took out Alonso and ended up out of the points anyway.
So with Leclerc, do you think, obviously, Ferrari are going to be the biggest competitors to Red Bull now, or is it just going to be very much just Red Bull running away with it, and it's just going to be Perez versus Max? Because slapping it on pole is a sign.
It's not a sign of anything, man.
No. It is Monaco. This is your one opportunity to win.
Yeah, I agree with that. Slow corners, that's it.
It's their one opportunity.
In reality, if he slapped it on pole with Monaco, he wins.
Yeah,
we said that last year.
We said that last year, obviously, because of the strategy and so on. So I'll say technically, the way he drove this weekend, if I was in Monaco, he would have won the race. But that's only because they wouldn't be able to overtake him. Yeah. And both Max and Perez overtook him.
From what we saw, they did I saw the thing on the side by side where they did an animation of it of Max with Leclerc, and you can tell that Ferrari's like it was gaining within the slow corners. So wherever there's slow corners in the circuits, the Ferrari will make up pace, but it's not really lacking pace down the straights either. So it's good enough.
It's just the Red Bull's OP on the straights.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody else.
Yeah, but I also don't think that the Ferrari is the second best car either.
Do you know what? I'm going to put a question mark. I think it's better than the Mercedes. I just put in a question mark on if it's better than the AM because
I think all 3 of those cars, they're all on the same level.
And Mercedes in that quality session, I couldn't believe Russell was out in Q2, and then Hamilton nearly got out qualified by Norris. It's like 1/10.
All right, maybe
So
yeah. I
what the
think
hell is
there's,
this?
I
Maybe
think a
quality
lot.
wise.
Maybe Merc a lot is more driver dependent. Why I might think that, but I think overall they're not. Those three cars aren't far off each other. I think it's very interchangeable. I think that maybe later on
Track
in the
dependent.
season, yeah, we're gonna see different things.
I'm
If the Merc actually do bring some type of major developments to Imola, and they work out, you'll see a big fight for second. I think.
I'm just waiting for Leclerc to have steady, good weekends because I'm not looking at signs anymore. It's like looking at Stroll. They're not of the required level when we're talking about the front guys.
Why cooking strong? What's going on?
This guy was smacking into the wall.
Stroll's injured, brother.
He's used to healed, man. It's been enough time,
man.
bruv. He's had an extra month.
He was being disadvantaged. He has to catch up. Let him get to.
That's why I gave him the first couple of times off. Like is now
He was cooking in Saudi, obviously.
Merc engines.
Cooking in Bahrain because he cooked your boy.
That's
live
because
in
Merc
4K.
gave him a 5-second pit stop.
Don't matter. With no risk, man, cooked your boy.
He was catching Lewis.
Australia. Today. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But
We'll
I think maybe Alonso set him up because he told him, yes, try this with the brake differential.
And the man fell off the road right away.
Sliding all over the gap and I was overtaking him. No, Alonso is sick. Alonso is sick. How can you tell him to do that and then he starts sliding all over the place? Alonso, maybe a changed man. Maybe Taylor Swift has changed him.
No. It's the honeymoon period. You know, when you're settling in, being nice to babe, taking her to Novikov and all that before you go back to your old ways and you just be like, just hold the McDonald's Uber Eats.
Oh God. So Charles Paul.
That's $3.99 delivery. I can't lie. That's
Tight. So Charles Pole, Max Verstappen second, Perez third. Then they had another quali session on the Saturday morning. Do you think this is pointless?
That was what it was because I was still asleep.
In the UK, guys, it was on at like
9:30.
9:30 in the morning.
I see.
I was awake.
I'm an F2 watcher, so I'm used to those
I was
early
up.
hours.
I was watching F2. That F2 race was insane. But,
Oh, they're awful, man.
God.
They're awful.
Somebody asked us a question to do an F2 dedicated podcast. Yeah, I'm just like,
No, I'm here for it.
boy, if we did,
It's
what was
funny.
it? If we do the Bozo Awards or whatever, there'll be a hella man on that list every week.
My boys is winning that competition.
They couldn't get round turn one. Oh my days.
Do you know what it is? Multiple drivers just said, I ain't breaking for that.
No,
At the same
You
time.
know what? Deruvula, I think, was the only one I allowed.
Rubilo just had no chance.
Yeah, he had no choice. But Martins just went straight into the wall. Like, what?
He said, "Damn."
my boy. Do you know what killed me? It wasn't even Martins. It was Hauger in front because he made the first part of the corner, then he just smacked into the side of the barrier. Like, why did you go out? Like, because I didn't clock it the first time I watched it because I saw you see Martins and you see Pourchaire and Baby Leclerc, yeah, all go in, and you see Doohan like crashing before he even reaches the corner. Like, man locks up, starts spinning around before the corner. And like, what on earth are these man doing?
The other two, Baby Leclerc and whoever the other guy
Baby
was.
Leclerc.
I don't know
Arthur
Their
Leclerc.
man, they literally just drove straight in. It was like, there was no reason for them. It was just like,
Do you know what's so funny?
It's like the ADHD
there was
just
like
kicked
2
in.
laps left, man. What's wrong with you, man? But shout outs to, before we move on, shout outs to Ollie Bearman. 17 years old. Pole position with a broken steering wheel. Man was on the straight like that.
To be fair,
what
it
I'm
was
saying?
his own fault because he had a Bozo moment.
He had a
Kid.
Bozo moment, but for him to slap it on pole
Yeah.
where like he can't even, the whole steering was effed is insane. And then won the sprint race.
and then to get that final overtake as well.
Yeah. Final overtake and then winning the race today as well. Quite comfortably, the feature race.
I didn't watch the feature race.
Sainz is in trouble. That guy enters F1.
Problem is,
Sounds
where he's
like
gonna
Benzema.
go.
No, he's going to have to do a little stint at Alfa Romeo or Haas or something. You know what I mean?
I do not want Gunter Steiner's hands on that boy. Like, we've seen Gunter Steiner with 3 young
Rookies.
drivers, and it's all gone to crap each time. Like, put him in Alfa Romeo or Williams or something.
It has
Just-
to be somewhere like that, but he's definitely bright talent for the future. But yeah, sprint quali, I don't understand what it is about. Don't really Yeah, they
It
tried to
should've been
do
a
this
one-lap
one
shootout.
one shot thing. They had Lando Norris and Yuki Tsunoda not having enough tires to.
Didn't make sense.
If they got into Q3, they couldn't compete in Q3. So guess what happens? Norris got into Q3 and couldn't bloody do it. And then Oscar Piastri was right behind him, like milliseconds behind him, and didn't even give him a toe, so couldn't even get through. I just think I think even the rules within the. If you're gonna do one shot quali, do it properly.
Yeah, I think
Don't do this.
Formula
time
One is the only sport in the world where they can make up rules the week before. No, maybe not even a week before, the day before for something, and you just have to go with it. It just doesn't make sense.
It's like football, Premier League saying tomorrow. You know what? There's a green card.
Yeah.
It's in between yellow and a red. You know, just like saying, fuck it, we're just gonna put a new rule in. Just craziness. No voting. They do voting, obviously.
yeah, they do
all
vote,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. But I'm saying, just like not having this in place in the first place before the season starts and everybody's gonna be aware of it.
Yeah.
It's just they're just on vibes, right?
Do you know what? I'm for it because I'm not trying.
Vibes.
I'm not trying to be on the Twitter timeline or all that during FP2, and everyone just complaining about stuff. I'm like talking about practice. I don't care about practice.
Bro,
Like, show
this is
me
like the fourth rule
content.
change of the season. Is that the fourth rule change of the season?
Do you know what's so funny as well? They're definitely gonna have to change the rules again.
Yeah.
Because right now cars can't.
I think they should make
so
it.
they're gonna change something.
I think they should make, if they're going to do it, time trial or one lap.
I think it should be one lap.
Yeah.
But everybody will be crying on the thing and be like, "Oh yeah, changing conditions." What
But you're not good.
Changes? Shut up! Your order's your order, innit? If you do your
Exactly.
lapping, then
No.
Although the championship,
yeah,
that's where
that's
you
your
go.
order,
No. I think we should have it on a timed session, but everyone can go out only once. So it's like you have
one warm up lap, one lap.
So it's like you have, say that the last Q3 session
Yeah.
where you have like 5 minutes to do your lap. Everyone has to do their lap in that 5
No,
minutes.
that will cause too much traffic if there's 20 cars though.
I think
Okay.
That's the problem. That only worked for Q3 because there's only 10 cars
Okay, fine.
or 9 cars. I mean,
Then the rest can do championship order. The top 10 in the championship can do that.
Perez bottled that pole though in sprint quali because like he was toying with Max, you know,
He was cooking.
because he was going fastest in sector 1.
Perez
And
don't
then,
want pole.
and then he was losing time in sector 2. So you know, he decided, let me save my tires in sector 1. Let me go slow there. And then he cooked sector 2. Then he bottled sector 3 to Leclerc. I'm like, what are you doing? Sector 3 is a straight line, bro. Why are you bottling? Who bottled sector 3 in Baku? But obviously Charles Leclerc, another pole to the name. Got a lot of poles. It's like Magic City. Honestly, got a lot of poles. But that set up the actual sprint race, and something happened in the beginning of that race, guys. George Russell qualified 4th, Max Verstappen 3rd, behind Perez and Charles Leclerc. And there was a little incident between.
Nothing, just an incident.
It's just an incident between George and Max. First of all, I'm gonna come to you, Martz. Whose fault is it?
Clearly George's fault, but Max has some damn cheek. I'm sorry. Like, after all the stuff we've seen over the past how many years? Almost 10 years. You have some bloody cheek, bro, to come
So
out.
you shouldn't be saying we all don't have grip, mate. Whatever.
Bro,
he said.
is
They
that,
called him a dickhead or whatever it was.
it's just dumb, man. He is just dumb. Like, what was this thing when he was facing this? It's just hard racing. That's what it was. It's hard racing. You get how you live, bro. And it came back to bite you in your ass. Now you see you don't like it. See what we all had to go through in 2021. Yeah. And you know what? It's not even just 2021 because he still does it to Lewis to this day. So it's obviously something he
I thought you didn't watch
genuinely.
Brazil, bro.
Huh?
I thought you didn't watch Brazil, bro.
I didn't watch Brazil.
Man saw the highlights.
No, but I said he
Why
still.
did he just refer to that? Oh, he does it to Lewis now. When did he did it to Lewis in Brazil?
Anytime. I didn't watch Brazil, but I know he's done it before as well. Was it Zandvoort? He did it to Lewis.
Zandvoort was just like he was gonna get overtaken, man. No, was it Kota?
And maybe Kota, I can't remember. There was another one I remember he did it last year. And I'm sure whenever him and Lewis are side by side, it's like, please, just...
Man said he's moving like that. You know when the turtle sees Black Air Force? When Max Verstappen sees Lewis Hamilton, it's like a turtle when he sees Black Air Forces.
Yeah,
It's on smoke. I need to hit it. He's like Roy Keane. I just need to,
Just want to smash it or something.
make me feel better,
Do you know what's funny?
What?
It's the fact that while Max targets only Lewis Hamilton, George Russell's the complete opposite, where everyone else, he sends them into the wall. Lewis Hamilton, he opens space. Look at the overtake today. He opened the inside line. He gives space.
No, today he off pad.
He off pad for Lewis. Why do you think every time Lewis is behind him, he starts crying on the radio? Because he's like, I can't fight this, brother.
Because you have to think about it. He's a PR man, isn't it? He's looking at the optics.
Yeah.
If I crash into my team, what does it look like?
Well, that's why in Mexico he hopped off the road.
Especially in the scenario where he's like behind Lewis in the championship by quite a lot now. So he's kind of like thinking, I need the points here. I can't risk it. You know what I'm saying? But against Max Verstappen,
I think if
You made a
Bottas was
good
his
point before
teammate,
the
he
pod,
would
I
have
think.
he would have crashed into Bottas.
Who?
If it was him and Bottas, he would have crashed into Bottas.
who Russell?
George, yeah.
Yeah, no.
no.
We were speaking about this.
Lewis
We were speaking about
Lewis.
before the recording. What did we say? We said that he's got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Against Max Verstappen, he's got nothing to lose. Same way Max Verstappen in 2021 had nothing to lose. Especially the beginning of the season, he had nothing to lose. He was just like, F it. It's the last car in this regulation. It's my last shot. Let me do this. And then you could see when it became real, like, oh, I can actually win this championship now. That's when the thread become unraveled. You know what I mean? The last 4 races, he was just become head loss. You know what I mean? Before he was fearless. You know, like Imola, stuff like that. He was just dunking on Lewis's head. He was like, I don't care. If I get a penalty, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's how he's driving.
I think, because Lewis obviously was going after number 8, so he just was like, protect the car at all costs. And
He had something to lose.
Yeah, he allowed Max to do a lot of things to him.
But Russell right now has nothing to lose against Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
That's why he would drive like that. And do you know what's so funny? Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that of all the people, all the drivers, Russell will drive like that. If he will take you out. He's more akin to Max than he is to Lewis in terms of driving.
Yeah, of course.
He will take you out.
We've seen it.
I remember a long time ago. What was it? Against Jack Aiken.
Oh, yeah, the GP3. He took out Jack Aiken at the
Took
end.
him out. He's like, I don't care. Championship's on the line. GP3 tires on the line. I don't care. I'm taking you out.
What do you
That was
think?
his teammate, no?
Yeah. What do you think I like him? He got that dog and he's got that. The thing is, it's one thing where you're a terrorist on the track, yeah? Like, all drivers have moments of terrorism. It's fine. It's more about accountability, and if you're going to be the bad guy, just embrace it. I think I don't like Max's like crying because like you're also the bad guy.
Yeah, so
and then also
a case of he can dish it but he can't take it.
Yeah, and then also one important thing is he needs to realize when racing. So Max said he's gonna remember this, and
Max said it like he's a murderer.
Bruv, he's gonna remember this. But if he crashes into George will cop out the car and smack you on the helmet. He smacked Bottas on the head, bruv.
You don't care, man.
George don't care. Like, he's built from a bit of a different cloth. Like, yeah, he speaks nice, but he will smack you upside the head if you go wrong. Like, these two will actually fight.
When you retrospectively think about that, do you know how mad that is? That man got out of a car after having a crazy crash with someone and then slapped him on the helmet.
No. That's because Bottas did swear at him.
No, I don't.
So he was gonna yell
I
at
don't
Bottas
care.
anyway, but like Bottas swore at him and said, "You know what? F this. I'm gonna smack you on the head as well."
Imagine Max Verstappen after Monza just got out of the car, saw Lewis, and saw the car parked his head, just slap his head.
He would have died that day.
You know what I mean?
He would have died. Max would have died that day because I would have caught a flight to Italy straight away, blood. Yay.
Because that one a light crash.
Nah,
Bottas and Russell, that one a light crash.
Nah. Bottas could have died.
Yeah, and he just went. What if he had concussion? You know what I mean?
That's true.
C to E, man. Talk to a guy, man.
But why was he in P8 in a Mercedes? That's what people don't understand. That crash is a crash that should have never happened. But we're grateful because it got Lewis a P2.
We're gonna speak like Bottas. We're on to you, you know. We'll speak about that at the end of this pod, but we're gonna speak about Bottas. But as you can see, Charles Leclerc got overtaken by Perez, but surprisingly didn't get overtaken by Max Verstappen in that sprint race.
George ruined his car
because he had a bit more aero on the side of that side pod, a bit of damage. Surprised that after all that, George didn't catch him. Is that how bad the Mercedes is? That he couldn't catch a damaged Red Bull?
Yes. Like, the top... Okay, the Red Bull and Charles Leclerc were in a league of their own this weekend in terms of pace.
Russell couldn't keep up.
No. And he was clear of Sainz and Alonso and Hamilton.
Max couldn't really keep up with Charles.
Yeah. And George was clear of the rest of them behind him. So it's really spooky. There was actually no reason for him to be that kind of far behind.
Didn't the restart mess up George though? Wasn't it as reason?
There was a red flag in that quality session, in that
sprint race. Yeah. So that's the reason why he couldn't pass Max in the end. Because he did pass Max.
He passed Max.
And then Max took him on the restart.
Dunked him. Took the position back.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought he took him back on a restart.
No. Yeah, no, that tractor on restarts is really bad because both Lewis and George got cooked at the first restart on the sprint race.
Hamilton got cooked in the sprint race restart, and then Russell got cooked today in this restart because I don't know what's going on with that Mercedes, but boy, sprint race.
I think
it died out by the end. Like Perez he was comfy.
Yeah.
Charles weren't really challenging. I think it just peters out after lap 15. You just don't really know what's going to happen. There's not going to be anything crazy going to happen.
Unless someone has like terrible tyres, it's fine.
Well, they decided to put McLaren decided to put Norris on softs.
Right decision. You were not in the points.
I know, but it's just them softs died after like 5 laps. The guy was dropping like a stone. I was like, why is this guy at 15th? What's the hell is going on here? Like, that's how bad those tyres are. Pirelli need to sort it out. Honestly. But we'll move on from the sprint race. We'll actually talk about the race itself this morning. Not this morning, like 12 o'clock midday UK time. We had Charles Leclerc on pole. We had Max Verstappen second. And Perez third. I think it was a clean start. Usually in Baku, something goes wrong. But the only thing that went wrong was Nick de Vries. And he caused a untimely safety car. I think the safety car came out a bit late. Let me know what you think, because obviously Nick de Vries, it looked like clearly he couldn't move. He couldn't reverse, nothing like that. Max Verstappen's in the lead at this moment. They've both overtaken. Max Verstappen and Perez have overtaken Charles Leclerc, and they've gone into the distance. And then they've told Max to box. The safety car's not been called up. Is that more to do with them being late to put the safety car out, or Red Bull's mistake for calling them in, assuming the safety car is going to get called out?
I think they thought De Vries was going to be able to reverse. Sorry, I think they thought De Vries was going to be able to reverse out and just get back to the pits, and it was just going to be a yellow flag, and that was it. I don't think they actually maybe thought it was going to be a safety car. I think they thought you just put it in reverse, he'll be able to get back to the pits. But obviously, De Vries is De Vries, so he wasn't able to do that. And then just ended up, just bad timing, as I said. It's
just bad luck. It's bad luck for Max Verstappen. It's not the because I know a couple of people on the timeline were blaming Red Bull for making a poor decision by calling boxing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, with hindsight, it's always going to be a poor decision, isn't it? But I feel like Red Bull have like one or two moments where they're just not Red Bull, and this was one of their moments.
It wasn't even a quick stop for Max, by the way. They gave the Lightning.
Was it 2.7 or something?
2.7, and then Perez got 2.3.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's like, obviously, then the safety car came out. And you know what's so funny? De Vries binned it when a lot of people just pitted to put the hards on.
Yeah.
So Hamilton pitted, I think, Norris, Albon, Yuki Tsunoda. A lot of people pitted already, Oscar. And it kind of, depending on where they came out, kind of we were in their race, because we had Ocon and Hulkenberg who were on the hards from the beginning, and they had no intention of pitting. And you could see that on the restart, that was crucial for Hamilton's race. He overtook Hulkenberg and Ocon quick time in the first lap. And Norris didn't. Norris race finished. Everybody that was behind them, man, their race was finished. If you was behind Ocon, and because them cars are too fast on the straight. The Ocon's too fast on the straight, the Alpine. So nobody's going to overtake him. They had no intention of pitting. You made a point that it was like Alonso in Monaco last year. It's nothing like that.
No, Alonso.
Do you know why it's nothing like that? Because he's holding position. He wants 7th place, Alonso. Nobody can overtake him because it's Monaco. You don't do it in Baku where you already know you have to pit.
The problem is,
what's the purpose of it?
And the problem was, he couldn't go any faster. So this is a thing of more about the inability to overtake rather than, let's say, him being a prick. It's more like Alonso was just there going, I'm not even bothering to drive fast. This is more like this is as fast as I can go. If you can overtake, go for it. If not, hold that.
Where in Monaco last year?
No, in Monaco last year, Alonso drove purposely slowly.
To hold his position 7th place because when he backed up the whole back, remember Hamilton was behind him. He did it on purpose so he could hold on to that position, but he'd already pitted. So he didn't have to mandatory pit like how Ocon had to.
Yeah.
So Ocon, and explain to me, Ocon, I need somebody out there to explain to me what Alpine's strategy was and what's Haas's strategy.
Safety car and God willing.
No, man, this is not my beloved sport, man. I don't understand what the hell is going on.
Haas have done that multiple times. They've just gone safety car and God willing.
That's like going into a foot match and just saying, inshallah, the other team gets a red card. How can that be your strategy? Your strategy can't be hoping someone bins it.
That was their strategy, is stick on the hard.
That's what I'm hoping for City. So
you're hoping on other people to mess up. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
But it's just, I don't really. Maybe this is copium because obviously we're in McLaren's race, isn't it? Because prior to the safety car, we were quite close to getting maybe 7th, being behind Russell and so on. And I feel like if we were in the DRS, we could possibly be in that situation. But first of all, before we go on to anything, let's talk about Alpine. So Alpine's weekend was interesting because throughout the whole...
They're not good.
No. Do you know why it was interesting? Because the whole break that we had, the 3.5 weeks, unprovoked, Otmar was talking. Yeah, we can talk. We can be faster than Merck and AM, you know. We have the potential there. We're going to bring upgrades to Baku. We're going to do our thing. Nobody asked them to say this.
No.
And then from the jump, their car was on fire in practice.
They're not good.
Ocon had to not do practice for safety precautions because they didn't know what was going to happen to his car. This is the team that somebody told me, yeah, they're better than McLaren. They operate better. It's fine. They got better drivers. What are you talking about? What's going on over there? They got better management. What are they doing over there?
It's not. It's just shocking.
I saw Gasly get pitted like 8 times today, and I saw Ocon doing the worst strategy of all time. Why have we got like double the amount of points of them now? What are they doing?
Chris looks stressed, man.
No, because this you know the streets, Chris. You've been on Baguette Twitter. Tell me what they're saying. What's going on over at Enstone?
Even Baguette Twitter don't know. It's one of those. They're just like
too busy rioting in Paris. That's the problem.
Bruv, the engine supporting solidarity. Yeah, it just went on fire straight away. They went back to blue and it's just all gone like pear shaped. I don't know what's going on. Like they got upgrades and everything. It's just like they're not. Do you know what they need? A normal weekend. They need one normal weekend, and then we can sit there and go, okay, this is what you man are on. Because in Saudi, they were the normal weekend. They were clear of everyone else, but not touching the front teams. Then in Australia, Gasly was battling with Sainz. That's Sainz. But it was like every
he was top
week.
5, no? He was top 5 in Australia.
Yeah, he was running like top 5 in Australia until the end. Then he crapped the bed. And now again, they've just had a really messy weekend. It's like every weekend's been a messy weekend. They need to, sort it out. Like, we cook McLaren for their stuff, but generally their weekends have been a lot more cleaner than Alpine's. Every week, these men are doing either recovery drives or stuff that's gone wrong, or they've had like a stink of a race. So, boy, it's not looking good.
It's not looking good, and I just really think that a lot of people rated them highly, and then I just feel like organisationally they're not. You heard listening to the last episode. We put Otmar Rossi there. I just don't think it's vibes in over there. I think it needs a little bit more organisation. But horrible weekend for them. 0 points once again. 2 weekends in a row, 0 points for Alpine. A team that's supposed to. I'm not even concerned about them anymore. I know we're gonna beat them.
Driver.
I know.
It's drivers as well. It's the drivers. We got to talk about him.
Well, who? The elephant in the room.
Yeah. Mr. Pierre Gasly.
No, but then a certain cast member is not going to be happy about this.
That's fine. They cannot be happy about it. Should have turned up today, innit? Then he could argue his point. But at the end of the day, he needs to.
Yeah, you've been called out, brother.
He needs to go to the fraud list now, man. That is last.
No, because we put him on the watch list last week.
Yeah, but it's fraud list now. These are two shocking performances in a row. Like
no. But I think Australia he performed, and then obviously
no, you can't perform and then crash into your teammate. You literally can't perform and then crash into your teammate. It's awful performance.
That's Jenson Button's best ever win.
That's like saying.
That Jensen slant is good, but go on.
No, because I was saying you can't win because it's like what's it called. It's like saying, "Oh, I got 2 assists and then I scored 2 goals, got a red card, we lost 3-2." That's not a good performance. That's a terrible performance.
I think we should give him a time frame because obviously we reconvene.
We put him on probation, bro.
No, he's on probation right now. He's on tag, but I'm saying to you, like, we reconvene in August for a reason. First
I don't need to wait till August.
No. Don't overrule us. Are you saying, Chris? What are you saying? 1st of August, we'll review it.
Unless he really stinks.
We'll have an emergency meeting if he's crazy stinks. Because how much points he's got now? Let me check before we get started.
4. They both got 4 points.
Hey, have you ever seen that picture of like Hezbollah and he's wearing a suit and he's looking out the window and he's looking down? That's me how I'm looking down at Alpine. Because them man, they were telling me, they were talking crazy to me. Bro.
Nah, man. They're poor, man.
So he's got 4 points. And so's Ocon got 4 points. They both got 4 points.
So they've got 4 points from the first 2 races, and I don't think Gasly scored points in the...
Bottas.
Gasly didn't score points in the first race either, did he?
No, he did.
He did.
So Gasly scored points in the first race. Then he scored points again in
Saudi. Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah, so he went all the way from last, Gasly, in Bahrain.
Bahrain, okay. Did I watch Bahrain? It's probably one I didn't watch again.
We were there. But anyways, yeah, they all got the same points as Oscar Piastri, and he's a rookie. He's 4th race. So we'll keep an eye on him. What I will agree is we got 5 more races in the next 6 weeks.
Oscar had a good race. Go shout out Oscar.
He had food poisoning.
Huh?
Sick.
Yeah, food poisoning, and I know what that's like. That's a horrible feeling about when you got food poisoning, and you just
I was saying I wanted to visit Baku, but if you got
bathroom.
that food poisoning in Baku, I'm a bit worried now.
Huh?
No, but the McLaren drivers are always ill, innit?
Yeah, I don't know what our doctors, our personal chef is moving crazy.
Hey.
Why are we always getting? Why is Lando always sick? Lando was sick in Brazil and Spain last year.
Yeah, man.
Don't know what's going on, but now Oscar's sick. But yeah, he did. I think he did a good drive. Do you know what I think? Do you know what makes me happy about Oscar? Yeah, is that he's always near Norris.
Yeah,
he's not like miles away.
No,
you know what I mean? He's always within a couple
of seconds. He's cooking Norris as well. There's times where he's cooking Norris as well. Well, I mean, it's vice versa, but it's like there's times where he's like, "Yo,"
he's very close. Like, if you look at sprint quali yesterday, that guy is basically the same time.
Mm.
That's what
I think if you look at
the same time as Stroll in real
on ability, they're the closest to than any other driver pairing. I think those two, they're the closest.
Let me think. So Red Bull, no, obviously.
Yeah, Ferrari definitely not.
No, obviously.
Mercedes, no.
And I think I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah? Lewis cooked Russell today. We're gonna have to speak about this right now.
I can speak about it, and I'm quite comfortable because I checked the statistics before I came in.
Why? This guy's like, what's he, Johnny Cochran? What's wrong with this guy, bro?
Hey, I saw the stinker coming. Yeah, I said, you know what? Let me check what was going on beforehand. Yeah, before we get to the end.
Okay, so let's talk through this. What happened in the race? Russell benefited greatly from the safety car.
Yeah,
he got his safety car tax back after Australia.
He was living off that last year, that safety car tax. Yeah, so then he was significantly ahead of Hamilton.
What was it?
Positions wise,
he was, because Hamilton's was 8th, he was 4th in it.
Do you know how bad his restart was?
Oh no, yeah, because he was all over the place at the restart. It was horrible.
So he lost places while Hamilton gained multiple places. Then we got that picture perfect moment when Hamilton dunked on Russell. Do you think he could have defended that better?
If it wasn't Lewis Hamilton,
I don't think it was a tactical one.
If it wasn't Lewis Hamilton, he would have defended that a lot harder. But because it's Lewis Hamilton, he knows what it is.
I just don't think.
I don't like what you're saying because it's making it sound like Lewis, he just gave it to Lewis.
No, he's not give it to Lewis, but you know.
But, okay. Let's check this out. Yeah, Hamilton overtook Stroll.
Yeah,
quite easily.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stroll made his mistake, whatever. But then once he got past him, he was gone, innit? What was Russell doing? Once again behind Stroll
because he took him. Hamilton take him into turn 1. It was turn 1 he overtook him in it.
Yeah, because after Stroll dropped off on the last corner, then Hamilton was able to got him on the straight.
Yeah.
The thing is, because Hamilton, he wasn't that far gone. Stroll was 2 seconds behind, and Russell was like another second behind him. They were less than like 5 seconds apart, until Russell just dropped off the road for whatever reason, and then he pitted for fastest lap.
Pitting for fastest lap is shameless as well, by the way. Yeah. Obviously, he had the gap.
He had the gap. Like if Ocon wasn't there and there was no gap, he would have just been whatever. But because there was a gap, it's like
I don't think he was that close to Stroll anyway.
He was that
he wasn't gonna. He weren't gonna overtake him.
Yeah, because no one was overtaking. Unless someone made a mistake. No, apart from Bottas, who got stripped by Gasly, and then Hulkenberg when his tires were finished.
Bottas is a stripper, man. He's an absolute stripper. He's awful. Like, this guy lost like 40 places on one weekend. How's that possible?
I said 40 places.
Ollie Behrman finished ahead of Bottas this weekend, bro.
Lordy. Oh
my God.
And how many times he played? Like 4 times today as well.
Look, Alfa Romeo, we can see you. You're on the full list for a reason.
Listen. I was the first person to bring this to the attention of the people. People were trying to even insinuate at the beginning of the season that Alfa Romeo is better than McLaren. I said absolutely not.
No, they're bad.
This organization is fraudulent. You know what I'm saying?
They're bad, man.
Do you know what? We usually do our Latifi nomination at the end of the pod, but I'm saying it's Bottas.
I think we've got joint winners this weekend, man.
So Bottas and who?
De Vries, of course.
Bottas, De Vries, and
I don't think Gasly as well.
No. The FIA.
Oh yeah, the camera situation, the Ocon situation.
So people that haven't watched it, Ocon was going around on his final lap. He still had to box.
Oh.
And these guys still had camera crew in the pit lane, just in the thing. And then we had the Red Bull mechanics jumping on the pit wall to celebrate for Perez. What's going on there? Because this is not like something is new, because I swear there was like people in the pit lane when Albon was pitting in Australia as well last year on the last lap.
Yeah. Oh no, and it was it a race this year? Was it Australia this year where they were all running towards the fans were all running onto the track?
Oh yeah, they ran. Don't think we didn't see that. Because they purposely swept that under the rug, television wise.
Yeah.
But bare Australian fans were on the track as well.
Yeah,
when cars were on the track.
That's crazy, man.
So, what do you think of that? What they're playing at safety wise? Because you will target Hamilton for wearing piercings. You will target other drivers on stupid penalties. But this is like basic health and safety standards. Yeah,
and the fact of the matter is, you should know that one driver still has less. I mean, basically, no one should be allowed in the pit lane until the race is finished. I can understand if you're setting up for the race winners, blah blah blah. Fair enough. You have 1 or 2 guys putting out the number 1 podium, number 2 thing. Fair enough. But the fact that there was whole camera crews, photographers, like. Yeah, we get it. You need to get your pictures and whatnot and wherever, because it's going to make you money. The better picture you get, the more money you're going to get. Fair enough. But the race isn't finished. Until the race is done, no one should be allowed with it on the pit garage, pit lane, whatever. It's just stupid. Health and safety, basics. Like, if someone dies, you're getting sued millions. We're talking millions.
Who investigates this issue?
And that's the problem. The FIA investigating the FIA.
What is this?
It's stupid.
What is this? Not no independent body.
It needs to be
investigate this stuff. You know what? We'll do better next time still. That's what they basically said. We'll do better still. Next time still. What? What are they playing at?
Have they even said anything?
Oh, they put that statement.
They put that statement. I'll try to find the statement now. And then I'll read out on the pod. But let me just find the statement out now. because they're a joke.
No, it's ridiculous, and yeah, I feel. I mean, I get the pit wall one. I mean, I don't understand why they're not letting people climb on the pit wall anymore. Because it's never been something. It's like
That's not much. But that's
the FIA are always looking for problems that aren't
no.
there.
That's a health and safety one because why are they running across the pit lane when there's cars could still?
No, but that's fair
I
enough.
understand that one.
Fair enough that I can understand that from that perspective, but they're already meant to be in a pit garage anyway. They're meant to be there. It's not like the photographers and them aren't meant to be there. Like the only people that should be there is that couple cameramen that are with the different TV networks. But fair.
So you're saying like, if it's pit crew people, they know how to operate in a pit
exactly, and they're not gonna be like they're gonna see Ocon coming. They're not gonna stand there. Did you see Ocon was literally coming around the corner? Them man were on the actual pit lane with a camera, and it was like Ocon's like about 10 meters from them, and it was like, oh shit, we need to go now, and they started running. Like it's too late now, bro.
And I think
Ocon you're actually hindering Ocon's race as well.
And Ocon's going in the pit lane at motorway speed. Sometimes when we sit there and go, they're in the pit lane, they're driving slow.
They're going at 50 miles per hour.
Motorway speed. It's not, it's not the normal like 10 miles an hour. You're going at like 50, 60
They're doing speeds that I do down the A13. Come on, man. Get going.
He's blowing,
Huh?
When you look at it, like on the, obviously from the outside, they don't look like he's blowing, but on the onboard,
yeah,
he's going fast.
Exactly.
Like if you hit a child at 40 miles an hour, like the adverts. If you hit it at 30 miles an hour,
if you get hit by an F1 car, does it chop off your ankles?
Oh no, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, I saw that video of the guy in the 70s. You don't want to see that stuff.
Why are you watching them things there, man? What's your problem, bro?
YouTube back in the day was a different place.
Man what was the other place, the other website that used to show crazy stuff?
What? Vimeo, not Vimeo.
I forgot the name, man.
Was Daily Motion?
Daily
No,
Motion. Is Daily Motion?
There was another one, but yeah, Daily Motion had great stuff on there. Okay, let me just say what the reason statement was. Stewards heard from FIA representatives and determined that the relevant let me read that again. Forgot how to speak English. The stewards heard from the FIA representatives and determined that the relevant representative took steps to set up the Parc Fermé area, and also permitted media and other personnel to gather in the start of the pit lane and pit wall during the last lap of the race, while the pit lane was open and before the pit lane stop of Ocon, basically before the last pit stop of Ocon. The FIA representative expressed their regret at what happened, and are assured us that they would do so in time for the next event. So they basically just said, who would the representatives of them? The stewards and the representatives is the FIA, no?
Yes.
This is a joke. Okay, let's talk about the star man of today, Sergio Perez. Do you think this is a real title challenge? The 6 points apart now. I think this is one of the first race weekends where not first weekend because he's done it before, but he's actually scored Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen was nowhere near him.
Yes.
This is going on, Chris.
I don't think it's going to be like a full-on title challenge, or Max, I'm slandering your name, like removing you from any chance of being with the elites. But yeah, he's cooked this weekend. He's been good this season. Like Australia was a stinker, but generally he's been quite good this season. And in reality, it's between the two of them, so he's got to be there every time Max has a stinker.
It's going to be a terrible season, isn't it? Oh, it's going to be a terrible season.
Yikes.
Yeah, overall, I think like Perez, he had a good weekend. He had a great weekend, I say, to win both his races. But it's
not gonna last over a season.
Yeah, and it's Baku. It's like a street track. I'm not like. I get you have to win at all types of races and stuff, but it's always the same thing. He just kind of knows what he's going to do. I'm not surprised by it.
But we do have a lot of more street tracks coming up, so that could benefit him. If he just patterns the street tracks and then there's obviously the other tracks and he finishes second.
I think there's a certain type of street track he does well at. I don't think he does well at every street track. I don't think he's going to do well at Miami next year. Next week, sorry. I think he's gonna.
Is Miami technically a street track or is it a car park? It's the Miami Dolphins car park.
It is what it is, man. It's just.
It's an interesting one because it's like, I think he's close, time wise. You know, like there was periods before in 2021 and even in 2022, he was nowhere near Max quali wise. I think it's one of the biggest gaps amongst teammates.
Yeah.
But now, like if you look at the quali sessions, do you know how close their times are? It's Perez is chatting to him.
Is it or is the match
even in Bahrain and Australia?
Easy?
Huh?
I said, is it or is the match just taking it easy?
No, I think Max is having difficulties with the car. I don't think he can maximize it how he was last year. I think he's having difficulties, especially with how twitchy the back end is right now. Even though he likes a twitchy back end, and I feel like he's, in Australia where he had that lockup,
Yeah.
and he can't. The car's not turning in.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the fact that the car's not turning in.
That's fair.
And Perez is an understeer guy anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Max is an oversteer guy, so I don't know, man. Obviously, you're never gonna say there's a title challenge.
No, my whole agenda against Perez is the fact that he's not of the required standard to have a title challenge. So this is like
No. There was an argument earlier this season to say who would be better in the seat, Ricciardo or Perez. I don't think that's a question now.
I was watching a video the other day, or was it yesterday, about Ricciardo, and they were talking about how his McLaren ruined, or he picked up bad habits at McLaren with his driving style. I think it was a video from the race, and they said apparently now it's fixed, or it's close to being fixed and whatnot. So they're seeing the old Danny Ricciardo, but again,
that's that.
I
like
never
I
rated
said
the
in
old
the chat,
Danny Ricciardo anyway.
That's anti-McLaren agenda.
Yeah, but I never rated the
Horner
old.
don't like Zach Brown. That's why he's saying that.
But there's some element of truth to it because he was like really low on confidence as well. And I think once now he's caught that confidence back, but it is simulator stuff in it. No one really cares about sim. Like Mick Schumacher's probably do more on the sim, but we all seen him race.
Hey, I've seen him do the most overtakes in the Brazil sprint race. That's what you know.
No, I don't want to hear that, man. This guy's
That stinks.
That was the best weekend of ever predictions ever. Fanboying won for me.
Lord of mine. So Sergio Perez, winner of today, now officially has more wins than Charles Leclerc. Does that mean anything?
Yes and no. Because the eye test shows that Leclerc's a better driver, but
Does it?
yeah,
I'll say that as well.
yeah.
Even I'm not that shameless.
I don't know, man. What's his conversion rate?
20%.
Look, okay, he has.
I don't know why people.
I think that conversion rate is very important.
No. I think a lot of people are trying to say that's not a big thing, but it is a big thing. I don't care. How can you tell me it's not a big thing?
It's a very big thing. Like,
You
if
can't. I'm sorry.
you're quick enough to get on pole. I get your team let you down a lot of the time, but then again, it comes down to you. If it was any other driver, we would not be doing this. Like,
To be fair, like some of them, he should have never gotten pole. So like in Baku 2021, that pole is like a fluke.
That was an alien pole.
That's
He
a
got dunked on in
fluke.
like 4 laps. Them two.
He should have never been on pole position. But the week before, like Monaco, that's his own fault.
That's his own fault. They'll say, oh yeah, but why didn't they fix the car in time? Oh, why didn't they do it properly? Come on, you're the one that crashed it, bro.
Yeah, he crashed it. So
France is his fault.
France is the.
That's a pole conversion right there. So for every Monaco 2022, the strategy messed up. Look, I haven't converted the pole. There's a France
No. The thing is, yeah, you see Monaco 2022
or Spain.
Sainz was able to have the correct judgment and was telling Ferrari, do not put me in inters. We'll go straight from wets to dries. This is part of his thing, which goes against him. But it's like, it's spooky, but like, say for this season, I don't care because Red Bull's clearly way, way, way faster. Last season, it mattered a lot more.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think it will be interesting. We actually have a listener's question regarding this, and they said, how long would the Perez title charge last? Let me just shout out the person's name 1 second, because I don't want to look like And we've got a lot of questions, actually. No, before we get on to questions, actually, first of all, yeah, shout out to Perez, got the win. Let's give us our drivers of the day. What's your driver of the day?
I'll let you take your boy to be driver of the day. I will do Charles Leclerc because that was a very good drive. And
driver of the weekend. So I would say, not the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be him. He was driver of the weekend. Like he slapped it on pole twice, and he looked after his tires and got 2 top 3 finishes. Like the Red Bull's faster, so like I don't expect much from him. It's more about being ahead of the Aston Martin. Like, Alonso got close, but there was never an attempt, and that's for him looking after his tires and keeping up a good pace at the same time. And he knew Alonso's game and managed it well. So that's a good performance from him. He knew to pick his battles and drove maturely. So,
all right, thank you, Martz. Who's your driver of the day? Of the weekend.
Just give it Perez. I can't think of anybody else.
I'm going to Sergio Perez. There was 2 races available. He won both of them.
Exactly.
Can't really fault him.
no, I won't.
He kept Max under manners in the second race.
No, I agree with you guys, but I just didn't say his name because I knew you man were going to say his name, so I'll give something different. That's the hater in me.
All right. So yeah, the first question is from ASD. So at SOSHGN. At what race will Perez's title charge be over? So
Miami.
Miami's his title charge is over in Miami.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think it's mathematically possible to be over in Miami.
It is what it is.
So what you're trying to say is that he will not win a race post Miami.
No, he will win a race. I just don't think it'll be anywhere near Max by the time he wins his next one.
All right, you go on. Remember last Miami, Perez had engine issues. By the way, but carry on.
I would say I say it depends on Max. I'll say probably by July. So the first race of July. Then will be like the gap is
That's Silverstone, Austria.
Yeah, that's when the gap should be big enough where we sit there and go, yeah, season done.
I'll say Suzuka.
That's way too late.
No, that's you're doing the mathematics.
I was saying Suzuka, innit?
I'm just saying on
the
vibes.
title charge will be over.
Is like you know how when Leclerc binned it in France, Max was like, yeah, this championship's mine. I think it'd be around about the same time. But that's what Max says. Yeah, championship's mine.
All right, we've got a good question here. Do you think Max can cope under pressure? It feels like whenever he is under immense pressure, he blows up. This is at CFC 19B.
No. I think he can cope under some pressure when it's guys like Leclerc, but when it's actual serious drivers who actually know how to race, I feel like, yeah, he can't. Hamilton, Russell, Perez, anytime they put him under pressure, I think he's like, yeah, I'd like to see him go up against Alonso as well. I thought, yeah.
So if he has that competition there, he's a bit.
It's not.
Because he did. There was some races in 2021 where he dealt with the pressure of driving against Hamilton, you know what I mean? Yeah,
but then I also think there's that moments where he's just. I think that's just hating me, man. He probably can deal with it. I
think he's got. And everybody says, "Oh yeah, Max is matured." I think in terms of those moments, I think he kind of lets things go now. He's like, okay, I need to think about the next race or later on. He's got more at line.
He doesn't, man.
Do you think?
No, I think.
No, when there's races that are not on the line, like, you know how he was in Brazil last year? He already knew he won the title. Do you think he cared? He didn't even let Perez through. He don't care. There was no consequences. He's already won the title. He didn't really need to worry about any of that.
Yeah, that's for me where I sit there and go, the maturity is not there.
If he's got 25 points on the line and if he DNFs, he's going to lose the title. He's not going to do it.
I think he will do it.
Do you think he'll still do it?
Yeah, he showed in 2021.
2022 against Charles, he won't make his stupid mistakes at the beginning.
Yeah, because Charles was doing it all for him.
It's true. We all saw that.
No,
Monaco.
but we saw like Jeddah and they were like not hitting each other. You know what I mean? Because if Max DNFs there, it's a big problem. If he DNFs 3 in a row,
I think it was more of a case of it was still early in the season, and
I think you drive different. I think Max drives different early in the season.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just when he's not with Lewis. And now George is on the hit list as well.
Man said black Air Forces.
Bruv, when he sees a Mercedes, he's not going to drive normally.
All right, we got a question from David SB4. Question 1 is, how ass are Alpine after all that hype and all that happened with...
We covered that, innit?
Yeah, we've kind of covered that already. And they're going to let McLaren breach past them, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Second question is, if Yuki keeps the trajectory... If Yuki keeps this trajectory, is it realistic for him to be in a Red Bull seat in 2023?
I don't want him there.
No, 2025, 26.
No, 2026.
No, I said 2025 to 2026. Could he have that Red Bull seat? Is that realistic?
I don't
keeps this trajectory.
I don't want Yuki in a Red Bull seat.
But he's a Red Bull driver.
Huh?
He's a Red Bull driver.
He's a Red Bull driver, but I think realistically he can get into that seat if he keeps up these performances. But I wouldn't want him in that seat. I feel like he needs to go to a new team, and have a team build around him. Hopefully, Honda make some moves within the sport, and they'll be able to do something there. I think that'll be like a good move for him as well. It'll be very comfortable for him. He needs a comfortable environment. I feel like going into a Red Bull that's very high pressured, and I don't see Yuki dealing with high pressure moments that well at this moment in time. I think he needs a very comfortable environment. I think he's very comfortable at AlphaTauri right now.
Do you think Franz Tost leaving is going to change his mind? Because I remember listening to a pod last week and it was like, yeah, that's like my granddad.
Yeah, no, Franz Tost literally took him from Milton Keynes to Italy and said, my son, you're living here. We're going to work you properly.
Yeah. I think he's got a very comfortable and he likes it. And you saw it when you saw him Drive to Survive, when he saw Gasly was going, he was kind of like, I don't want Gasly to go. I need that support there. And I mean, he's doing well. Don't get me wrong, he's doing well. But I also think that's because De Vries is absolute arse. And but he's getting the best out of the car, and he's taking that thing. But we'll see how well it goes, because we know Yuki as well. He does have these times where he goes on a run where he has some great performances of 4 or 5 races, and then he'll go on like 7 races where it will be like a dip. And he just needs to keep that consistency. That's what I mean, like the high pressure environment. I don't think he could deal with it at Red Bull. Even it depends how he develops over the next 2-3 years. But
we got a question from that leads on to that from Marty Williams 63. Who finishes the F1 season with more points, Nick De Vries or Liam Lawson?
I
made me chuckle.
I put the tweet of, the unemployed black man, and I said that's what Helmut's gonna be sending Nick De Vries if he carries on driving like this.
Liam Lawson will take his seat by Austria if he carries on.
No, man.
Well, all I'm gonna say,
they might just put Danny Rick in that car a bit for, by the end of the season.
All I'm gonna say, Franz Tost was right, because when he was talking
about
Mick
in it,
he wanted anyone but Nick De Vries, kind of. He was like, it's not my decision. But I don't want this guy in here. Yeah, it's like, I don't want this guy here. And it's like...
Sometimes trust F1 talent ID, guys. Because if he didn't get into F1 as an F2 champion, trust the talent ID.
But he was part of McLaren's academy and he got dropped.
Yeah, so trust McLaren.
So he got dropped from McLaren.
Why do you think Mercedes was like, yeah, you can go. Mercedes says, you can go.
Mercedes made no effort to get him into a Williams seat. Until it was
watch it. Did you see the way people were fighting over Piastri?
Yeah.
And then nobody's fighting for De Vries.
They did kind of fight for De Vries. Like Williams in the end did want De Vries.
He was always number 2.
But it was always going to be for that number 2 seat. And it's like AlphaTauri was like, oh crap, Gassie's going now. So who can we pick up? And they realized someday you junior guys probably aren't ready yet. So we'll give Nick De Vries a shot. But
so we've got a question from Olu Stappen. And it says, is it insane to think that Lawson driving in the Red Bull and Ollie Behrman driving a Ferrari this year or next year? I think this year's out of the question.
Insane. Ollie Behrman's not ready yet.
Ollie Behrman's not going to be in a Ferrari seat.
He's not old enough to be in a Ferrari.
Man's 17 years old. Why are they going to put an 18-year-old in a Ferrari seat? Okay. What the hell's going on? Go ahead. All right. So the other questions we'll get to on another time, but thank you for listening. We will be back next week with another episode for the Miami GP. Peace.
Thanks.
Yes.